Thank- So today we're going to talk to you about benchmarking your digital presence against the competition. Our agenda today is we're going to walk through areas to measure mobile, content, website platform, social, paid media, tools, and IntelliStar.
Thank you, Isita. All right, we have been talking about all of these things all day long, right? So right now, what Isita and I are going to do is share with you some very easy tools that you can use to benchmark not only your website, but you can use these tools we're going to show you to run your competitors' websites as well to see how you do against the competition. Now, who's surprised that we're starting with mobile? Anyone? Okay. So we've been talking about mobile all day long. A statistic that Banu shared this morning from Google, a recent study shows that in the US, 50% of searches in Google are done on a mobile device, and 20% of those searches are done by a voice search. So in order to be ready for voice, you need to be mobile optimized. So the tool we're going to show you, and Banu touched on this briefly earlier, is the Think with Google mobile-friendly test tool. Super easy to use. Go to this URL, put in the URL that you're benchmarking, yourself or a competitor, and the tool is going to give you a couple of different metrics to look at. Another thing that's super cool is because it's Google, it's also going to tell you why this metric is important and why you should care about it. So here we go. This website, this is a mobile friendliness, and all this means is how good does your website look on a mobile device. Now, Google thinks it looks pretty good, 97 out of 100, not bad. And here, I'm talking about, I just really want to use a laser pointer, so here. Google tells us that people are 5 times more likely to leave a mobile site that isn't mobile friendly. In addition to mobile friendliness, Google's going to look at mobile speed. Okay, you can have a site that looks great on a mobile device, but if it doesn't load quickly, people are going to drop off. Here, Google tells us nearly half of all visitors will leave a site if the pages don't load within 3 seconds. Remember Banu's goldfish. People do not want to wait a long time for your website to load. Google will also help you. If you click this little blue See What to Fix button at the bottom here, it gives you information. Google's telling you this is why your site doesn't have a good mobile speed score. The red X's, those are Google's telling you you have to fix these things to improve your mobile speed. The orange is a nice to have, you really should consider fixing it. And then the green check marks are highlighting elements of your website that are already optimized for mobile speed. And now, we are in a cross-device world, right? People are checking rates, looking at things on mobile devices, and maybe going home and completing a purchase on desktop. So the Think with Google tool will also give you your desktop speed. Again, this website doesn't do so well, only 50 out of 100. This site really does need to load faster on desktops. And again, Google says that 9 out of 10 people say they use multiple screens for tasks like booking a flight or managing their personal finances. I know I do. I'm sure most of you do. This absolutely includes booking a hotel room. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is content. We have talked about content today and why it's important. So let's say you have already done your keyword research. You know what keywords you're going after. You know what has the best search volume. You know what's most relevant to your hotel. So once you've decided this, these are my keyword targets, great. What do you do with them? You have to put them in the right places on your website so that search engines and people can find you. So the tool we're using here is SEO Book Toolbar. It's a Firefox add-on. There are add-ons like this for Google, Internet Explorer, whatever your browser of choice happens to be. But say you search someone, Hilton Daytona. This is for you, Teresa. So say you search your hotel. This is how your metadata should appear on a search engine results page. See your page title? We've got a keyword, Daytona Beach Hotels, followed by the name of the property. And then you see our metadata here. And from the meta description, metadata, we learn that this hotel is located on Daytona Beach. So a searcher who's looking for a hotel on Daytona Beach is likely to click through here because it has the information they're looking for. Now, what's super cool about this tool, there's a little X, looks like an X-ray, and boom, you can see the inside of your website. So the X-ray tool will show you your header tags. Again, here, we have an optimized H1, an optimized H2, and then on this little gray section over here, you can't read it terribly well on the screen. You'll be able to see it just fine on your presentations on your flash drives. You can also see the page title and metadata that are here that we also saw come through to the live results on the search engine results page. then here's an example of a site that's missing metadata. Say this site actually does show up in search. You'll see the link. You will see no meta description. A user is not very likely to click on that because it doesn't really give them any information about what that page is about. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is duplication, right? So anytime you're adding content to your website, whether you're adding a new page or expanding content on an existing page, you really want to be writing this from scratch because both people and search engines like to see fresh, relevant content. Now, having duplicate content won't necessarily harm your rankings in search engine results pages, but it's not going to do you any favors either. So here we've highlighted Copyscape, and we've used our own website to run as an example. And the tool will tell you if your content matches any other across the web and to what percentage that similarity exists. So then, once you've identified, if you identify any content that is duplicated, you really need to take a look at it to decide what you need to change. Because, say you have a collection of independent hotels, and across all of your websites you have the same privacy policy or the same cancellation policy, that's not really going to hurt you because you're not using duplicate content to try to trick users into clicking through to something that isn't relevant. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is your website platform. How do you see if your website structure is good? And by good, I mean, does it have schema? I don't need to tell you what schema is. You've had other experts describe what that is. But schemas help search engines make sense of your web page or your website quickly. And the way you can look for schema is a Google Structured Data Testing tool. Now, Benu did highlight this briefly this morning. So you go to this website, or you look at your website in this tool. And here I'm using the example of the Rockefeller Center. It has the schema markup tourist attraction. This is all the code that Google gives you in the tool, in the Structured Data Testing tool. Yes, the schema is buried in there. And you can see on which pages it has schema and what the schema markup is. And without schemas, search engines are not able to do a deep crawl of your site. So you're not enabled for current search, which means you may not show up in the knowledge graph. You may not show up in then voice search. And what's coming next? AMP, right? You want to be ready for all of those things. Okay, social. You all know you have to be present on social. Bill showed earlier that his daughter used Pinterest for inspiration and research while she was traveling. So the tool we're featuring here is called BuzzSumo. And you put in your URL, and you select a time range. I have a year selected here. And what this tool will do is sort it by shares. So over the last year, this post about top colors for your holiday manicure had the most shares. So the tool tells you how many shares and then also tells you across which platform your content was shared. It's worth noting here that this tool highlights sharing only. It does not gauge how often you're posting on your social media channels and how often consumers are engaging on your channels and whether you're responding back, which I don't have to tell you because Naisha already did. That's important. All right. With that, I will turn it over to Isita for paid media.
Great. Thank you, Gabrielle. So everyone knows how important paid media is because it provides a direct ROI on the budgets that we're spending. A popular tool that we like to use is called SpyFu. The reason why we use this tool is because it's able to provide various keywords that our competitors are bidding on over the past 6 years. By analyzing these keywords, it allows us to provide a gap analysis to see where we stand versus what the competition stands. And then it allows us to see the terms that we would potentially want to bid on so we can increase our share of voice. One of the things to note is that this information should be used directionally. And you should always keep your budget and your goal in mind before deploying any new strategies. As you can see, we provided a list of these tools that Gabrielle and I just walked through today, and they're also going to be on your flash drive. So going through all these tools can be quite overwhelming. We just went through 6+ tools, plus all the moderators talking about everything you can do to benchmark yourself against the competition and where you need to be. Now imagine if all this competitive information could have been collected within a single dashboard. Well, Milestone's newest tool, IntelliStar, gives you competitive insight across multiple channels. It's a software-as-a-service platform that manages your complete digital performance and allows you to benchmark yourself against the competition. IntelliStar provides competitive intelligence data for customer touchpoints such as mobile usability, no secret there. Page speed, site audit, just to name a few. Now here I'm going to walk you through a couple of examples of the tool. So here's a mobile audit example. Instead of using the Think with Google tool, we can provide you with a custom report which will allow you to easily benchmark your area against the competition, such as page speed, browser caching, and landing page redirects. Now imagine trying to decipher through the confusing code with the Google Webmaster Tool. We provide this easy, readable view within IntelliStar, and if Gabrielle clicks on a hotel, this allows us to see all the links within your hotel that has schema markups applied to. You also have the ability to see a comprehensive view of your site's health check. It is important to make sure that your site is performing optimally and providing a good user behavior before you start deploying competitive strategies. The on-page opportunity, which provides details into your meta, H1, and H2 descriptions, gives a complete scope of what's happening on your web pages. It eliminates the need for you to download the SEO toolbook onto your browser. It also saves time because you don't need to click on various pages to see what's happening. The keyword ranking report not only provides visibility into the monthly search volume, it also gives you an opportunity to see where your competitors have ranked for terms within a particular time frame. And one thing I like to call out is that this is based off of organic keyword ranking. One of my favorite things about this tool is being able to view your local ecosystem, since this is so important. You can view measurements against consistent and inconsistent listings. Milestone takes it a step further because we have a proprietary software called Naptunes, which goes into the local ecosystem and updates your listings on a frequent basis. It's extremely important to make sure that you are promoting the accurate UNAP information with these local listings. You'll be surprised what will create inconsistencies. For example, spelling the word street versus using an abbreviation can be dinged as an error within your UNAP. Unlike SpyFu, IntelliStar will report on the number of keywords that overlaps with your competitor. This saves a tremendous amount of time and need for people to perform secondary lookups. Additionally, the time frame that we report on is for the year, month, and week. Digital is ever-changing, and while looking at a keyword bidding strategy over the past 6 years is great, what does that tell me about what's happening on the search engine results page today? Last but not least is a view on your branded keyword search performance. It gives an outlook of where you are versus competitors that are bidding on your terms, such as OTAs or direct hoteliers. A lot of customers ask, why should I be bidding on a branded term if I show up number one organically? Well, what happened is, A, you need to be able to make sure you're covering the full search engine results page. Number two, if you don't bid on your branded keywords, other hoteliers and OTAs will be, and you'll be losing out traffic to your website. That's it. So thank you for your time today. I think one big thing out of this report that we can view or kind of take away from us is that analyzing competitive intelligence is fairly simple. It's not costly, it's fairly easy if you're using the IntelliStar dashboard. Thank you.
Anybody have any?
Okay, thank you, Isita and Gabrielle. Now, we have a few minutes for questions, if anyone has one. If not, I have two. So we'll start. Oh, yes.
How many competitors can you list in the tool?
Up to 3 competitors.
Up to 3.
Yeah.
The Think with Google tool, are you able to go back a month or 6 months to see what improvements that you've made and how that's changed?
Yeah, you can run this at any time. Google won't remember it for you. So if you run this test on your site, take screenshots of what you've got, make your improvements, go back and check. So you,
IntelliStar, we have enabled the archiving.
Right, so the thing with Google Tool won't archive it, but it will be archived within IntelliStar. Make sense?
We have a question here.
What are the limitations with changing or updating the comp set? Say a new property that you maybe wanted to add, replace one.
Within IntelliStar?
So there aren't any limitations. One of the things and the ways that we like to leverage it is if you put in 3 of your competitors, you want to benchmark them over a course of 6 months or so to see, how you're ranking. Are you improving? Are they improving? And then, just as nature happens, maybe a new hotel property comes into place. So then you want to remove the property that no longer is competing with you, or you feel that falls into your competitive set, and then you can add a new one in.
Further questions? Perfect. Let me bring this to you.
Can you use this in the branded environment?
Can you use it?
Yes. So as you saw there, where with the last screen, we were able. With the last screen, we were able to show your branded keywords and the share of voice that you have, and then the share of voice for the OTAs or any other competitor that could possibly be bidding on your brand terms.
So where we have the branded site, so in Hilton Daytona's case, we have the Hilton.com site, then we have our vanity website. We've got to compare those two based on the share of voice.
Yeah, you could add your vanity site and your brand site as competitors. Yes, you could do that within the tool. It would be interesting. We'll do it later.
One more thing I wanted to clarify. This tool is probably one of the kind which is integrated with Google Search Console. So most of the tools out there will only give you 15% data. But since we integrated this with Google Search Console, you are getting 100% visibility of all the keyword phrases. So people coming all non-provided and provided, you get everything. And we are archiving it for year over year.
I have a question here. Are you guys going to add AMP to it? Because right now AMP is not there, and we just talked about AMP is going to be coming. So is that a part of the strategy?
Jonathan, you have to answer that. You make it work.
So I asked this question, just wanted to let everyone know that as new tools, new things are being rolled out, IntelliStar is going to integrate all of those. So getting onto IntelliStar will not be just to date. It's going to always keep evolving with search.
Further questions? We have 1 or 2 here. Of all the elements presented today, which are the most important?
Who wants,
Mobile.
I was gonna say, who wants to guess with me? Say it all together. Mobile.
It's not mobile, right?
Who tipped you off?
And then also, how do you implement schema on your website?
You get a Milestone website.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, Milestone does have, we have more than 40 schemas built into our CMS. However, if you are not lucky enough to be using a Milestone CMS, there is schema.org. You can go there and learn about how to get a plugin, like there are plugins for WordPress, for example.
Great. Are there any further questions? In that case, thanks very much, Isita and Gabrielle.
Thank you.